So the story is good. But no, Toy Story 2 is without a doubt the best one.
No, I think it is. It's the movie. If there's like a few movies that inspired me, that was one of them. I watched Toy Story 2, and I was like, that's the movie I want to make.
I think that one has the best message too. Not even message, the best moral dilemma.
Well, it's also just the most fun. Like
Right.
it's also the most fun to watch because there's so many locations and the When She Loved Me scene. Like it's the most.
There is.
It's by far the most adventurous, especially like the airport stuff. Like when they're in the luggage, I love that.
That's a great battle scene.
No, it's like it's fun and it's adventurous, and like especially when they're like sliding down the elevator, like defeating Zurg, like
right.
that. It's by far, or like the one where they go across the road.
Yep, the gun
like,
on the road.
It's by far the most adventurous Toy Story. Like
Yeah.
I guess 3 is, but not until the climax.
Yeah,
But like 2
3
is consistently exciting.
Once they get out of it in 3,
It's like really just like, oh yeah, we're in a dumpster, and now we're in like gonna be incinerated, and then we're doing this.
That part's good, and I mean, Lasso is probably no Stinky Pete. Honestly, I think Stinky Pete.
No,
is
have you
a better villain than Lasso? I mean, they're both definitely good.
have you heard the comparison that Lotso is basically just what Stinky Pete was?
Yeah, because they are. They're both friendly characters.
Because people
who
are
end up
just
being
like,
evil.
because it's just like, oh yeah, you can love Toy Story 3, but that means you love Toy Story 2. So it's like you can't be like, I don't like Toy Story 2, but Toy Story 3 is amazing. It's like they have the same villain.
Yeah, right. They are. They're both. They come off as like the friendly character, kind of old man who runs things, and then.
I mean, I love Toy Story 3. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a great movie, but Toy Story 2 is the one I've probably rewatched the most.
Arguably, I think the first one might be my least favorite. Not that it's saying it's bad or anything. Not because it's like worse, but it's,
no. All three of them are favorite movies of mine.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen the fourth one. That's why I'm saying
the first one's the creepiest, without a doubt. The first one has some weird scenes.
Yeah.
Like that one.
I was never
scared.
I was surprisingly never scared by the first Toy Story, especially with like all of Sid's toys. Like I'm imagining it scarred some kids, and I was just like, yeah, that's normal.
I might be one of those kids.
I was scared, okay. What about the THX logo though? Did that ever scare you? Like before, like the Disney movies it was with like Tex the Robot, or just like the THX logo. That never scared you?
I don't think so.
Okay, so I'm not alone on that either, because every person I talk to says like THX logo freaked them out, and it's apparently this thing online where you look it up and they're just like, oh my god, I had to run out of the room, like I had to cover my eyes. It's just
really?
like I was like, I loved that part. That was the best part of putting in a tape or a DVD. I was like, you know what? I get to see that logo before the movie.
Right? No, the every noise. That was my favorite part of watching Toy Story. There was that the little the overhead lamp, the lamp who like jumps on the eye in Pixar, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Pixar.
Logos.
Yeah, the logo, the Pixar lamp. Freaking, I think my favorite logo of all time, and I watched it always when I watched the movie, the Jim Carrey's The Grinch movie. The Universal. Universal Studios, I think of like the 2000s is the best. Like, I feel so good when I'm about to watch the Universal movie.
Oh yeah, what was
They hype me up so much.
I get really nostalgic for the original Disney logo. Not the modernized one, but the one that was with the blue background. It was like the castle like would rip your
Yeah.
I get so nostalgic when I watch that logo. It makes me feel
a little bit.
I feel so good inside when I watch it.
I forgot they don't do that anymore, honestly. I haven't watched many of the newer Disney movies.
They discontinued it. Like, they had the logo, but the music stopped after like the 90s.
Really? So I remember from honestly Pirates of the Caribbean. I think the first two had it. Maybe the third one did too.
Yeah, that's what they did in the 2000s. They had the same concept of it, but they like would put it against a CG background, or they'd make it orange or something.
Yeah, for Pirates.
I think they did that. I think Remember the Titans had it orange too. It was like a black background, but it was orange in the front. I think Miracle did that.
Movie had the blue one.
Which one?
The first Pirates movie. I had them on DVD, the first three.
Yeah, I don't.
And I think the first one.
I don't even think the first Pirates movie had a logo in the opening. I think it just opened with Pirates of the Caribbean.
Maybe. Yeah.
The title.
I'm trying to think, because I had. Maybe I'm thinking of like Lilo and Stitch.
Lilo and Stitch. Oh yeah, Lilo and Stitch. I think had it. Didn't it get sucked up by the flying saucer?
Yeah.
Okay, so I am remembering that.
That one had the blue one. Yeah, because I had Lilo and Stitch. I
miss the blue one. I get really nostalgic for the 20th Century Fox logo. Yeah, that one I love.
Same. I mean, that's for me is Star Wars. I think of right away.
Well, and especially just like it feels so epic because you look at like Warner Brothers like dun 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 down now, and then you look like Disney brown now, and 20th Century Fox like dun 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 dun. It's like holy shit, I'm hyped. Like no movie studio logo, arguably except Universal, like you said, like no movie studio logo gets you that fucking hyped. Like the 20th Century Fox logo gets you hyped as hell, especially if you're like putting in Ice Age or robots or something. You're just like, holy shit.
One that I liked, but didn't get me as hyped as Fresh Fox or Universal, but I had a place in my heart. Was the Liberty Lady one?
Columbia. Oh, Columbia. Shit. Yeah, like, no, Columbia is another favorite of mine.
Yeah, that was always a good one.
I used to actually I remember Paul Blart Mall Cop. There was a time where I would actually rewind the opening just so I could listen to the Columbia Pictures music.
Right, yeah. I forgot what it sounded like, the music. I watched it a lot. Oh, yes. I had that on the DVDs. I remember watching that a lot. Was the Grease Lightning, or I guess just the movie Grease.
That Grease was Paramount.
Was it Paramount?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I am positive that Grease is Paramount.
Why am I blanking out? Oh wait, then the other one I do know was Columbia. Then it was
Monster House.
Rugrats Go to Paris.
Rugrats Go to Paris. That's Paramount as well.
Then maybe I'm thinking of the Paramount one.
The Paramount logo is pretty darn epic too, but it's also like very slow movie. Well, at least the late '90s, early 2000s logo had that like very like it's like just like a mountain. You see the stars like align over it.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
Columbia Pictures. I think of like Monster House.
You're right. Okay, it was the mountain one. Yeah, because
the mountain one's weird.
It's funny that I'm thinking of both the same movie, like both the same logo.
Well, and Paramount rarely had a fanfare. I think depending on which version of Grease you get, it has a fanfare, but some of them don't. But like the Rugrats Go to Paris, that doesn't have a fanfare. It was like most of the Paramount movies just had like a silent logo, or it would be like whatever the music score for the film was.
I think Rugrats had that. I think at the ending it would hear like it was almost like a plane noise. I think
wasn't that Rugrats had the like Paris intro for the Nickelodeon movies though, right? Whereas like they filmed the guy in Paris.
Yeah.
And then there's like the giant. Is it Nickelodeon like a giant like wrecking ball or something falls on his house?
Oh, that might not be for that movie, but I think that was for Nickelodeon.
Yeah, for Nickelodeon. No, I always liked the Paramount logo when it had the fanfare. Like it was the fanfare that they used for if you ever had a Paramount VHS. Do you remember like
definitely had one.
Do you remember like if you had like a Blue's Clues or Nickelodeon tape or whatever, they definitely had it. It was like the feature presentation one, like the and now our feature presentation no.
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
that's the Paramount fanfare, but they only used it in that feature presentation bumper.
And now we're pleased to bring you our feature presentation.
And it was only used on a few other movies where they actually kept the fanfare intact. I think Wayne's World is one of them. Basic Instinct had it, but like that's an 80s movie. I think Wayne's World is the only like really mainstream movie to us that had the Paramount fanfare. Oh, and I
never seen Wayne's World actually.
I think Mean Girls had it too. I think Mean Girls has the fanfare.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I want to say it does. I haven't seen Mean Girls, but I've heard it does. But yeah, I love the Paramount fanfare only when it's with the fanfare though. Like I don't like the Paramount logo by itself is very pretty. But it's got to have the fanfare.
Yeah. No, I actually you're right. I might think what movies.
The Columbia Pictures logo is pretty good though, especially if you had like.
It is, and I remember it vividly. Obviously, I remember Delay.
Open Season. If you watched like or Surf's Up.
Maybe. I don't know why I'm trying to think of a live action movie with it. Because I had a lot of
I can think of a lot of live action movies with the Columbia logo.
Because growing up, I think I watched more live action stuff. Cause my sisters I'm youngest of 4, so they always.
Oh, really? Okay, well, I did not know that. Today I learned.
So for me, it was a lot of. Because I was born in '98,
I was born in 01, oldest of 3. So
okay, yeah, so very.
Very different, but like same sort of like generation.
90s stuff because they were 90s. I mean, I'm 90s kids too, but like I'm later, and they're 91, 94. 96,
I'm 01, so I'm basically a 90s kid, but not. Because they say the 90s ended with 9/11, and I was born before 9/11.
Ooh, okay.
So it's like sense. I'm a 90s kid, but I didn't grow up with any of the 90s stuff. I just regurgitated, watched it. When it was on reruns, I'd watch the 90s stuff.
I felt a little salty because some people don't consider me a 90s kid because of 98. It's like, oh, well, you barely know.
There are people. I'm born in 2001, and I'm probably more of a 90s kid than. I'm just as much of a 90s kid as people who were born New Year's 1999.
Exactly, yeah.
I'm just because I mean, like, think about it. It's like early 2000s Nickelodeon. Where do they get all their reruns from? 90s Nickelodeon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Where does like Cartoon Network get their reruns from? Their 90s shows. Dexter's Lab. Oh, I love Dexter's Lab.
Oh, that show. I mean, I watched a lot of shows early 2003, 2002. I watched a lot of those shows. 2003, I remember, was a big year of shows for me.
2003.
Yeah, I think that's when I started watching a lot of cartoons.
Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy.
Grim Adventures. The original, Star Wars animation.
Oh, the Clone Wars by
I watched on TV
by Genndy Tartakovsky.
Mm-hmm, yep. Because
no, is it Genndy Tartakovsky or Genndy Tartakovsky? There's Andrei Tarkovsky, who's the guy that directed Solaris, and then there's.
It wasn't Andrei. Yeah, I know that.
No, Andrei Tarkovsky is the guy who made Solaris. That's a foreign film director. This is Genndy Tartakovsky, who made Hotel Transylvania.
Yeah. Oh, really? You made Hotel Transylvania?
He directed them.
No kidding.
He directed the first 3. The 4th one was not him.
Because I know he also did. I mean, everyone said, "Oh, Samurai Jack" when they saw the Star Wars, Clone Wars.
Yeah, that was him too.
Because they're like, "Oh yeah," because I didn't watch Samurai Jack growing up.
I neither.
My neighbor did. He loved it.
I've wanted to get into that. It's sort of like Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, which I've been rewatching.
Have you?
Yeah.
Where do you watch it at?
I watched. They aired on Boomerang like a couple years ago, and I just recorded all of the episodes.
Okay,
but I think they're on HBO Max too. And I think if you look in the right places, you can find them online.
I'm sure, yeah. Like that.
No, you can find all the episodes in like pretty good quality. That's all I'll say. If you look hard enough online, you will find them because
it's hard to say what my favorite show is growing up. I think Ed and Eddie or Teen Titans.
I never watched Teen Titans.
Really? Well, I think it came out in 2003 as well. So
no, I've been rewatching Billy and Mandy, and it's so weird of a show because it's such a mixed bag for me, but I love it. Yeah. Like it. So much of the humor doesn't hold up, but when there's a joke that works, it's freaking hysterical. Like, that's the thing about the show. Like, I love it, but it's not a show that I love as much as SpongeBob. Like, SpongeBob is a very consistent show. Mm-hmm. First 3, even arguably the first 4 seasons, it's a very consistent in its comedy.
Weird.
Billy and Mandy is like, we'll have like a stinker episode and then like a few stinker episodes, and then it'll come out with an absolute gem.
Banger. I remember
like an episode that is on par with SpongeBob.
My favorite episodes were, I think, better than SpongeBob, actually, I would say. I mean,
which
SpongeBob, ones? Once I think of the Halloween specials, so that was Cartoon Network specialty, Halloween. Like Halloween Christmas specials.
The Billy and Mandy Halloween special is really good.
Jack the Pumpkin King. Yeah,
yes, okay, so you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
That was really cool.
Any episode with Fred Burger, I remember being like my favorite thing ever. Because
Fred Burger.
There was the court scene when they had to argue Billy and
Mandy.
Yeah.
Keeper
of the Reaper.
Yeah, Keeper of the Reaper.
Yeah,
Keeper of the Reaper.
That's probably the best episode.
Grim is not a toy for an idiot boy.
Yeah, the song.
That song lives rent-free in my head.
Oh, absolutely.
Skinny white bones are mine to own. To do with as I see fit. Give him to me and I promise my love won't quit.
I disagree about the Keeper of the Reaper. It should be me who's the Keeper of the Reaper. Grim's not a toy for an idiot boy who can't even tie his shoes. If Billy wins, then we all surely lose.
I'm gonna stay in the Keeper of the Reaper. I'll make you all pay for the Keeper of the Reaper.
Yeah, no.
Billy wins and we all surely lose. I love that.
Yeah.
It's so good.
No, the Fred Burger episodes have been kind of odd to rewatch because it's like there's nothing to it. But I admire the guy, C.H. Greenblatt, who did Chowder, was behind the voice of Fredberger.
Really? Okay.
But it's like Fredberger annoys me in the episodes that he's in.
Oh, okay.
It's also because I'm watching it because I didn't watch. Like, I watched Billy and Mandy. I was familiar with it when I was a kid. I watched the Big Boogie Adventure movie when I was a kid.
Oh, wow. I forgot that one.
So it's like I was familiar with it, but I wasn't.
That's the finale, right?
It wasn't the finale, but it could have been. And it was very close to the finale. It aired in March of 2007, and the show technically ended November of 2007.
A lot of those finales aren't that great. I remember, like I said, I loved Ed and Eddie growing up. I think that was my favorite show, maybe.
No, that Ed and Eddie had a really epic finale.
I wasn't a fan.
But they had it as a movie.
They did. It was the Big Picture Show.
Big Picture Show. That was hyped.
It was.
It was hyped. Like, I wasn't even an avid Ed and Eddie viewer, and I was like, holy shit! Like, the Big Picture Show is a thing. Like, this felt like bigger than me.
I think
I liked the movie, but I also haven't seen it since like 2009, 2010. Yeah. And I also was, like I said, not an avid Ed and Eddie viewer. So as a person who like casually watched the show and knew enough about like, oh, Kevin's the bully, these kids are, troublemakers. Like, as someone who just had like a vague knowledge of the show, or like a Plank. Was it Plank?
Plank was.
So it's like I knew the characters, but I didn't know the relationships. Yes.
Johnny.
And so it's like, as a casual viewer of Ed and Eddie, I remember 10 years ago I loved the movie.
Okay, and I'm glad people. For me,
I don't know how it would be as a fan. Like, if I tried to rewatch Ed and Eddie like I am Billy and Mandy, I might feel different about Picture Show.
Maybe, because I feel like it never, for me, and this kind of like Billy and Mandy a little bit, where it's like, it never broke past the Halloween episode of Billy and Mandy, not Billy and Mandy, Ed and Eddie, the Halloween one with that, and then also.
I don't think I've seen the Halloween one, but I've seen the Christmas one.
The Christmas one.
Was it Jingle Bells? It was Jingle something.
Jingle, yes, it was. I don't remember.
I watched the Christmas special, but again, I haven't seen in probably like at least a good 10 years.
There's a line in that lives in my head rent free. It's if Christmas is about giving, then how come I'm not getting?
Eddie says that, right?
Yeah, that's probably my favorite
that was
line
Eddie,
of any like cartoon character.
Because that was Eddie's special.
Yeah, it was. He led that one. It was
the Billy Mandy had a good Christmas special too.
Then also
it was Gilbert. It was Gilbert Gottfried as Santa. That's the best casting ever.
I don't remember. It was. Wait, Gilbert
Gottfried was Santa.
I remember him playing Santa and something, but I don't remember like what happened.
Yeah, it was in Billy and Mandy. He became like a zombie, I think. And it was Mrs. Claus who was like, "Oh, like Billy and Mandy, you gotta like cure like my husband." And then, spoiler alert, Mrs. Claus was the bad guy.
That I remember. Now I remember it. Yep. That was
that Christmas special is good.
Was really good.
It's like whenever Billy and Mandy had a special, it's good. The Big Boogie Adventure movie, even though I haven't rewatched it in my series rewatch, I'm getting close to it in its chronology. But I remember, 10, 11 years ago when I watched Big Boogie Adventure, I was like, oh, that's a good movie.
I remember that one being good.
That was a good movie. That felt epic too.
Foster's was another one I really enjoyed.
Oh, Foster's was good. They had good movies too. Good Will Hunting.
Oh, Good Will Hunting.
The joke that lives in my head rent free is the gag where they kept getting speeding tickets for like trying to find Wilt or like trying to find out where he was.
Oh my God,
and so like it was Frankie kept driving the bus and there was like a cop on the bus and she would give her a speeding ticket every time everyone exited the vehicle.
That wasn't that one.
And she's like, get out. And she takes a ticket. She's like, I know. I love Good Will Hunting.
Yes.
And it was Michael Jordan. Good. Michael Jordan was the reveal.
Was he really?
I want to say he was.
That's awesome. I don't remember that one.
Because Wilt's the basketball player. And so I believe he was Michael Jordan's best friend. And if it wasn't Michael Jordan, if I'm misremembering it, it was someone that had like the aesthetic, the build of Michael Jordan. But I want to say it was I don't think Michael Jordan voiced the character, but I think the character was implied to be Michael Jordan.
So the only thing from that show I remember was Cheese and Blue. And those are my favorite. I mean, I remember all them all, actually. I remember Eduardo and
Coco. Eduardo. Coco.
Yeah, that's a good Coco. I remember my brother, I think it was Coco. I think that was a favorite character. Yeah, Coco was awesome.
Frankie was cool.
Yeah, I like Frankie.
What was the name of not Mac? There was the bunny that ran everything.
Mr. Harriman.
Mr. Harriman, yes.
Harriman, yeah.
And was the imaginary friend of like the sweet little old Foster lady.
Yeah, Madam Foster, yeah.
Yeah, she's like, you're my little bunny.
Oh, my brother. Oh, he just reminded me of a few. I watched it the other day, probably a year ago, honestly, though. It was, so you want to know the secret about the secret door? Well, that's a secret that happened a long, long time
Was that from
ago.
Foster's?
Yeah, it was the Squiggles episode. There was,
I don't know if I remember that one.
This door that wasn't allowed to be open, and Blue was trying to find out. And this old man, he's like lived forever. He was like, "Oh, I know the secret." And then Blue was like, "What's the secret?" He goes, "So you want to know the secret? That secret that everyone said not to talk about again." And Blue's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "That's it."
So, you want to know the story of the secret door, huh?
Yes, I do.
Something happened in this house, behind that door, and we all agreed we would never speak of it again. And that is the story of the secret door.
That's the story of the secret door?
The actual story is much, much better.
He's like, "Well, honest."
Foster's was a good show too.
Such a good one. Yeah, that one.
I think I tried rewatching the series from like start to finish, and I got through maybe partway through the first season, and then I watched the movies like Destination Imagination.
Nice. Oh, that's a good one. Yep.
Yeah, that's a good one.
See, I can probably name every Cartoon Network show. I probably spent the most time on there. Camp Lazlo, Codename Next Door.
Codename Kids. There was Powerpuff Girls.
Yeah,
I didn't watch Powerpuff Girls because being like a sexist 5-year-old, I'm like, oh, that show's for girls.
That's how I felt.
Same reason I never watched Beauty and the Beast as a kid, which
really?
I had it on VHS, but I just didn't watch it because I was like, oh, this is a girl movie. I don't want to watch it. But
it's not my favorite Disney movie, probably.
It's a really good Disney movie when I was not sexist anymore and I watched it. I mean, I'm 5 years old. I think girls have cooties and stuff. Like,
exactly.
It's like I don't blame 5-year-old me, but it's like I also wish he had opened his horizons a little bit and be like, you know what?
Yeah.
Just watch Beauty and the Beast. Just give it a shot, dude.
That's because I'll say I never watched. My brother watched one. Totally Spies, the 3 female spies. I was like, well, these girls can't fight. That's like my thing.
That wasn't Cartoon Network, was it?
I think it was.
I know the name of the show. I've heard of it, but I don't know what channel it was on. When I think Totally Spies, I think of Disney Channel, and maybe it's because Kim Possible.
Maybe it was Disney Channel, but I like Kim Possible too. Actually, which is funny. I liked her, but
I never watched Kim Possible. I don't think I even found out about it until years later because I didn't watch Disney Channel.
Yeah, I watched a little bit because my sisters watched it, and so I was. Though I remember going really back, I was a Power Rangers kid at some point in my life.
I could never get into Power Rangers.
That was before I watched Cartoon Network. That was like, so it had been like when I was like maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah, Power Rangers is weird because I could just never get past the fake looking monsters, and it's like even if I kind of adopted the camp of it all, I just couldn't get into the teen drama.
Yeah, I forgot there was drama. See,
Power Rangers was just not my kind of it.
My dumb mind, I only remember the fight scenes. I don't remember any of the drama. I don't remember
Pokemon I could never get into either.
Really?
I also never really gave it a try. I was just like, I knew the cards. I think I knew a show existed, but I was like, I'm not going to give it a try. I was like, I know about the cards. I don't want to try it.
Because I will say, so Cartoon Network was my weekday shows. But I remember specifically every Saturday morning I would be up for Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, a show called Code Lyoko, which nobody's ever heard of. I swear to God.
I think I've heard of it, but I know nothing about it.
Nobody grew up with the film besides me. It was I don't think I've ever met a single person. My roommate and I are watching it right now, and I kind of told him I grew up with it.
Yeah, when you say a show like that people never heard of before, it gets really, there's a gray area now, because if you say to someone, oh, have you ever heard of this show called Mr. Meaty? I swear you haven't. And they're like, yeah, we have. Right, it's like Mr. Meaty is like one of those shows that like everyone only knows because they think no one else remembers it. But the show you said, I genuinely don't remember.
No one does. I swear to God. Like Mr. Meaty, I pushed that one out of my memory. Mr. Meaty. So like there's shows like that where I'm like, no, I do know that. I just purposely don't remember.
I don't think I ever watched a full episode of
Lyoko, though. No one watched besides me.
No.
Me and my brother, and I don't know why. Like.
No, I was fully a Nickelodeon kid.
Yeah, and that was a like
fully like SpongeBob, Jimmy Neutron, get some Fairly Odd Parents in the mix.
I'm actually gonna look up what channel Code Lyoko was on because it wasn't on any of them.
I don't even know how to spell that.
Right.
I don't even know how to. How do you spell that?
L-Y. It came on 2003, of course, like every show I watched. L-Y-O-K-O.
Oh, Code Lyoko. I thought you were saying Code Lyoko.
No, Code Lyoko.
Oh, okay. Wait. I'm looking it up too.
Yeah, what channel was it on? Because.
This is weird because it's probably a show that was syndicated for Americans, but I'm seeing what channels was on in different countries, but not our country.
It came out in France. That's what it was a French cartoon.
But Well, then it might have been Cartoon Network because I mean they took a lot of shows that were from, especially
Right.
Canada. They took Total Drama and Johnny Test from Canada and were like, hey, that's our show now.
What?
And that's why, especially Total Drama has a lot of really risque humor for Cartoon Network.
Right. It says something Canal J. I don't remember knowing this channel.
I don't think that's that's French pay channel. I'm trying to think of
in
all right,
America.
let me just
Maybe
look.
it was Cartoon Network, but
It probably was, but I thought I would see something about that. Let me just look up. Oh, okay. I want to say it's Cartoon Network because I looked up.
okay, it was.
It's on the Cartoon Network fandom page.
Interesting. I don't know why I don't remember.
It's Toonami. Okay, so it's on the Toonami fan meme.
Yeah, it was Toonami because Toonami was huge back then.
When did
Teenagers
Toonami end though? Because I know it's on Adult Swim now, but when did Toonami originally end? I don't know that. I know it started in the 90s because they had Dragon Ball. I want to
Yeah.
say Dragon Ball was the main one. But
Probably Static Shock. I think was on there. That was a cool show.
yeah, when did Toonami run? Because I want to see when the Cartoon Network era. Okay, until 04.
When did it end? The cartoon. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, and it's original one from 97 to 08. So I think from 04 to 08 it was a Saturday morning block.
Static Shock is a 2000s show that came out. That's crazy. Phil Lamar played Static Shock. I remember watching that one a lot.
Didn't he voice Samurai Jack?
He did a few things.
I want to say one of his big roles was Samurai Jack.
Futurama, Foster's Home, Family Guy. He been on a lot. I mean, Phil Lamar's a Samurai Jack. Yep. There
Okay.
Billy and Mandy, The Proud Family, which I watched that growing up. Jimmy Neutron, Scooby Doo. F is for Family. He's always on that. I want to start watching that. F is for Family.
Yeah, the Bill Burr show.
Yeah.
I have not started watching it either.
Me neither.
I've only seen the intro where it's set to Come and Get Your Love.
Yeah, I've seen that one. Yep.
I've seen the intro where he's flying in the sky. So cheesy, but I love it.
Phil Lamar is one of those actors I don't think about, but man, he is
Prolific.
probably been in everything I watch.
Well, that's what the case with a lot of voice actors. Like,
Right.
if you look up their filmography or their TV, I don't know what the term for TV filmography is.
Yeah.
But if you look up their works in TV, it's prolific because they're always voicing either background characters or a main character. And sometimes both in the same show. Like, they'll voice the main character and then just voice random miscellaneous people throughout the episode.
I mean, a lot of them do a lot of anime TV shows. Like an actor named Kirk Thornton, who I know a lot of anime people love him. I don't really know him that well, besides from a game I like that he voiced the character for.
Kirk Thornton.
I guess he's maybe Naruto. I really don't know.
Yeah,
He is a popular.
English language Japanese shows. Okay. Also, I don't know if you know this, but I've been recording for a while now.
Good.